Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'd like to thank the guests for coming today and look forward to seeing you again. If possible, you could come. We would love to have you. I know what a challenge it is to walk into a church you've never been in before. That happened to me and my wife Gina on Easter Sunday. And I was a changed man after I left that day. I was raised in the church. Didn't think I needed church. Hadn't been to church in a long time. Had my relationship with God. And this church changed that. And that's why I'm up here. I would have never have told anybody I'd be standing before a group of people giving a sermon. But I am, because of this church and because of God. And I just want to reiterate, that cross right there is the most powerful tool we have. And if you look above, you'll see the wings above that cross. My relationship with God before I got to this church, and I've told you all this before. Imagine holding an acorn in your hand. That was me. I didn't need to go anywhere. I didn't need anybody. I had my relationship with God, or so I thought. Didn't need a church, didn't need a church family, or so I thought. But because of this church and because of my relationship with God now, that acorn is a huge oak tree. And trying to explain that to somebody is like trying to tell them the experience of a roller coaster they've never been on. And that first step is walking right through that door, whether it's our church or some other church. And you need to realize that I'm a spiritual leader. I'm to help guide you to find that path with God so that you can begin and strengthen your relationship with God. I'm God's instrument. The scripture for today is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 2 through 4. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let that steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. 2 weeks ago, I spoke about perspective and how important it is in our lives and with our faith. Perspective allows us to choose how we view life's situations. Is the glass half full or half empty? That's typically the most common analogy used when people discuss perspective. What they rarely discuss is the other P word that is essential with perspective, and that's perseverance. Perseverance is defined as persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. One may say that a positive perspective would be called hope, while a negative perspective would be called discouragement. Perseverance, like the definition, is your personal drive to see it through to the end. We should view perseverance as exercising our faith. And here's an example. When we encounter difficult times, we should view it as going to the gym. Most folks don't like it because it requires personal sacrifice and discipline. Yet, once you get through that darkness period of your working out, you begin to feel the results of your perseverance. You're feeling better. You're healthier in mind and in body. You're much stronger and alive than you were before. That's how it is with faith. When difficult times show up on the doorstep, We begin with perspective, but we need to end it with perseverance. It's an achievement, a success, because we saw it through. I've dealt with many challenges in my life, as I've mentioned in past sermons, and I'm sure everybody here has dealt with a challenge in their life, wondering how you're going to get through it, wondering if you're ever going to see the end of that tunnel, if you will. We need to understand and remember that we aren't shielded from difficult times because we are Christians. We are, however, given the love and grace of God. He won't let us deal with it alone. That is our choice. That is free will. He's there waiting for us to reach out to him. Perspective is the essential first tool used when we encounter challenges. Perseverance is what gets us through those times. It always seems impossible until it's done. How many times have we felt that? God gave us those tools, and if they are used efficiently, then we go stronger in our faith. By perseverance, everything reaches its target. As we grow stronger in our faith, then our relationship with God grows stronger. It's hard to beat the person who never gives up. This is where it hits home. The devil hates that. The devil's trying everything he can to break that up. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. The devil hates simple because you can't argue simple. It's sense. It's difficult to do when we never give up for the devil to influence us. And believe me, he's trying every single day. Remember, your perspective, hope, or discouragement. And from there, you take the next step, perseverance, to make it happen. Remember, Job never gave up. By staying strong and faithful, this is our reward. Just take a look at that. And I've shown this before. Look at all those people. Every single one of them had their chance. Nah, don't need it, don't want it. And look at the few on the cross, the true believers that stayed the course, that were ridiculed, shamed, made fun of, persecuted. But it was their strength and their faith that got them that ability to cross the cross and enter paradise. It's not rocket science. The Bible is our playbook. We know how the game is played. We have the rules and the instructions in the Bible. We just have to pick it up and read it. Now, this next pic I'm going to show, I'm just going to show it. You start your day out like normal. As your day goes by, you feel something different in the air. It's like nothing you've ever felt before. You look up and you see that. Are you going to be overjoyed or are you going to be concerned? I will tell you right now, if you're not overjoyed, then you better stop your tracks right now and figure out what you need to do when that happens, that you have no worries or no fears. Because if you're afraid of that happening, maybe we need to sit down and have a private conversation. Because this day is coming. It's on its way. And if anybody here doubts that, then I encourage you to pick up your Bible, go to the second book of Timothy, and read chapter 4, verses 1 through 10. Everything in that is going on right now. And it's gone on in the past, but it's even more so now. That image is on its way. And I just pray every single day for everybody here and members of this church, members not of this church, that when that day happens, they'll be granted access. But it's not up to me for you to gain access. It's up to you. You have to make the choice. You have to make the commitment. One of the things we need to understand is we do have an impact on people. Don's testimony, that was meant to happen. That was divine intervention. That girl had, from what I understand, she had no knowledge of God other than maybe hearing of it, no church. And then she goes and gets a Bible and tells Don about it. And then that afternoon they sit down and they start reading. And Don explains it to her. Someone who had no hope, who was completely lost. And what does she do? She tried to look different, to feel different. It's not on the outside. It's on the inside that matters. And I think we all realize that. But maybe we're just complacent. That's perseverance. That's when you say, you know something? I should probably do this because this is the right thing to do. How many times have we thought that and we said, no, I'll do it tomorrow. And then that happens tomorrow. And then you're asked, you know, you had that opportunity yesterday, but you didn't do it. Why? I was giving you an opportunity. And you turned your back on it. How can you add? What's your answer to that? Well, Lord, I wasn't thinking. Well, you just made a wrong choice. I just hope that we all understand that we're God's children. And that I ask forgiveness every day, every single day, multiple times. I don't think I'm a bad person, but I do lose my patience at times, and as we all do. But my relationship with God, it's strong. I feel His presence. And I want everybody to feel what I'm feeling in that regard. I'm changed. I thought I was a good person, and I was in a way, but God wasn't really involved in my life like He is right now. But I'm not out there on the street corners. I'm not out there parading all around town. You know, I'm just me. And I try to have an impact everywhere I go. Some days greater than others. And remember, the sermon from last week was, if you had a wish, what would you wish for? Remember, I couldn't answer that. But I got the answer before I got to the church. And that was for everybody to make a positive difference. That's the best wish you could have. Because we have free will. We have to find God in our own way. Come to church is a good tool. But outside of this church, you know, we need to be able to go out into the community and just talk to people. Invite people. You know, Donna invited Bob. And Bob's here. Hi, Bob. And I see Ray back there. I invited him online. And that was him and his kids that were here earlier. And he said he'd be here today. And I'm very grateful you came. It's an honor and a privilege, my friend. Bob, thank you for taking the time to come. And let's not forget our brothers and sisters who couldn't make it today. Dorothy and Joe. Judy. And some of the other folks. Steve. You know, let's hope that whatever they're dealing with, whether it's a health issue or something else, that they're better and they can make it. And I would encourage Simple phone call. I started doing that now. Calling folks, just saying, hey, hope everything's okay. And like I said, if you want me to go visit somebody, just let me know. I'll make the time. This is God's house. Not because it's a building, it's because he's here. I look forward to coming to church. I wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about today. Got to Friday, I'm like, oh, man, this is tough. But I said, I'm going to let go. I'm going to let God direct me. And then, boom. Perspective's good, but that's not going to get us through this. It's perseverance. So in closing, I would just like to say that if you're not aware, we have a Facebook page, okay? I post the sermons on our YouTube channel, and that's my way of trying to get folks who can't make it to church to see what we're talking about, see what we're doing. There's some people, Donna said she's got a friend in Franklin that listens to the sermons, on YouTube. And anything we can do to bring awareness to people about God is a good thing. Don's encounter with Emily is a perfect example. My encounter with Daniel. I got stuck out here in my truck on a Saturday. And I called, and Modders came, Daniel came, pulled the truck out. Best money I ever spent. Daniel's here. Lori came on Bring One. She's been coming back ever since. So we're making progress, folks. Slow, sure, and steady wins the race. So let's just let that go, and let's just let God be ourselves in his likeness and try to make a positive difference. That's all we have to do. I look out and I see the pews being a little fuller, and I'm fine with that. I think we all are. And we sound better when there's more people singing, personally, because you can't hear me, I don't think, at that point. But anyway, if anybody has a need or a desire that's pressing on you, feel free to come up. This is called the invitation, and we'll pray for you. And if not, that's fine. It's okay. But we're here as a family in this church, in the house of the Lord. So please, stand up, and we'll sing our closing hymn.